Thanks for following me on this journey of my fasting experience. And in today's video, I'm about 20 days into a 40+ a day fast. And I want to talk about the benefits, and they may surprise you. So please subscribe to the channel, share this with your friends, and we'll continue the journey together. So in our last presentation, we talked about my testimony, my addiction to food, and I mentioned that I'd been on a fast. Well, I'm still on the fast and enjoying it, frankly. And so today I want to talk about some of the things that I've learned. So I'm really calling this the benefits of fasting. And it might come as a surprise to some of you, but fasting affects the total person. It affects the physical, it affects the mental, the emotional, and it can even be a spiritual encouragement. And so why is that? The reason for that is because God has created us with 3 levels of life capacity. He's created us with a spirit and a soul and a body, and each has individual functionality. In fact, that's what's referred to as the anthropology of man. And a lot of people that I counsel and talk to really don't understand a whole lot about themselves. They might know a lot about everything else and have gone to school, learned trades and professions, but when it comes to understanding what's going on inside of them, they're kind of lost. And that's a tragedy, and that's one of the reasons we struggle so much as Christians. And so, in fact, talking about struggles, you know, we have this God-ordained, created body with these 3 levels of life capacity. But something went wrong, didn't it? And it went wrong way before we came into the world. It went all the way back to the book of Genesis, to what's referred to as the fall. And there we see that not only did we inherit a spiritual condition, but we developed flesh patternings. And I'm not going to get into all that today. Those are for other presentations that are very important, by the way. But I just want to talk about the fact that we have these indulgence tendencies. In fact, whether you realize it or not, all of us have a little bit of an entitlement mentality. We feel entitled to whatever we're indulging. And so fasting can be a healthy means of breaking free from some of these personal indulgences, as I shared in my last presentation. In fact, just let me give you just a quick bullet point on some of the things that fasting will accomplish in your body. Fasting will rest your digestive system. I can tell you now, since I've been weeks now in this fast, that basically the digestive system is shut down, and my organs and things are resting, and I have a greater mental capacity as far as focus, and so it affects the brain, affects everything. It allows for a cleansing and a detoxification of the body. That is so true. Of course, obviously you see that as you remove water from your body frequently through the day. You can tell that there's a lot of detox going on. Another way is I've noticed that the top of the roof of my mouth and my tongue turn completely white. And those are the toxins that are coming out of the body. I've also noticed huge improvement in inflammation in my body. And obviously, fasting creates a break in our eating patterns. I was thinking about how beneficial this has been, because you eat 3 times a day. So, I'm in the office, I'm working, I'm counseling. I usually, I eat a big breakfast before I come to work, and then, I barely have an hour because my counseling appointments sometimes slide into my lunch hour, and then somebody's coming prior to their appointment, so I don't even have 45 minutes, and I'm trying to eat something or I'm trying to go get something. And so I thought about it, the time that we think about what we're going to eat, with the time of preparation of what we're going to eat or where we're going to go to eat, the time that we eat, and then the time after we eat. That's a lot of time. And so just to say, fasting's been a great time saver for me. I've had more time to do other things that I need to do. So it also promotes greater mental clarity. Now, I'll admit to you, the first, I'd say 7 days, I did find it a little more difficult to focus. I had a little less ability to sit down and do work. I found myself a little more maybe mentally fatigued. But once I got to 10, 11 days, since then, I can sit down for hours on a project and stay focused and not have to get up other than to use the bathroom. But prior to that, I would have to take breaks. I would just find myself mentally fatigued. Or I would need to get, like a snack, something to eat to kind of, okay, get back to work. None of that now. It's amazing. And, we'll talk about this in the next time we meet, but about the spiritual implications. There's been some neat encouragements in that regard as well, as far as my focus. Another thing that fasting will do is it will cleanse and heal your stuck emotional patterns. Now, you may not think that you have any emotional issues, especially if you're a man. I don't have any emotional issues. That's my wife. No, no, we all have emotional issues. And it begins to, first of all, reveal them, which allows me to process with Christ as my life. I don't do anything independently. I'm in union with Christ. And so whatever I'm doing, including this fast, we're talking about this all the time. That is Jesus and I. And he's the one that's encouraged me to participate in this. I didn't do this on my own. And so, there's a huge emotional stability and balance that begins to occur. It'll also lead to a feeling of physical lightness and increased energy level. Oh, again, I can testify, because I am currently in a long-term absolute fast, and my whole body feels lighter. Now, granted, I've lost tons of weight, but I'm not talking about just the weight. I almost, and I don't want to, misrepresent here, but I almost feel like, like I'm walking on like air. It's just like I'm just lighter, and it feels so good. And the energy, I have energy now. Where I don't have to take an afternoon nap. Now, sometimes if I choose to, I will. But the other day I was working on a project, and it was long and intense. And I thought I would have to stop and take it. No, I didn't have to take a nap. But again, it's not like I'm a youngster. I'm 6 years old. I've been taking naps for years. So I have this increased energy now. It'll also promote an inner stillness, enhancing your spiritual connection. Now, we're going to leave that one for the next time we get together, because I have a lot to say of what fasting is and what it isn't spiritually, and you'll not want to miss that. And so, as you can see, this is just a few. I mean, if you want to do your own research, you go online and you'll find out just tons of benefits from fasting. Again, little disclaimer, I'm not endorsing fasting for you. I'm simply testifying of what it's done for me. So I want you to remember that. If you decide to do something, you need to consult your doctor. So let's talk about some of the physical effects. Again, fasting is, they're so numerous, we really can't even mention them all. And so the statement that I want to make to you today is, I believe that the general population, first of all, might be a little bit afraid of fasting, like it's a little taboo, or maybe it's not healthy. That is not the case. That is not the case. In fact, one of the healthiest things you can do for your body, this is my personal testimony again, is to fast. In fact, I believe that the general population, the best kept secret for health is the secret of fasting. Your health will spring forth speedily. And it has been said that fasting is the greatest medicine, like having a physician inside. Now, granted, if you're a Christian, you already have the great physician, Jesus Christ. So, that's a fact. That's a given. But I'm talking about as we participate in a fast. It's like it's like Jesus inside of us can do so much more because we've availed him with some significant tools to physiologically bring about some significant change in our metabolism, in our hormones, in our psyche. There's a lot of benefit to this. And so many have testified that particularly long-term fasting is a miracle cure to the negative health ailments that they struggle with. There are all kinds of testimonies of people that have had serious diseases that have gone on fasts and the disease is gone. I'm talking serious diseases. And so having experienced a cure or a significant improvement concerning your medical condition can really be an encouragement to, kind of fast more regularly, maybe twice a year, something like that, where we're literally allowing it to be a part of our lifestyle. And so this benefit is due to the fact that fasting initiates the body's own healthy ability. God's created us in such a way that our cells regenerate. Did you know that? Your cells regenerate. So the body has this healing ability built in because that's the way God's designed us. And so when we fast, it's like it facilitates that healing of the body. Think about it. We're not taking in all those heavy foods and the toxins that go along with the foods. We're giving the body a rest, and we're allowing those cells and molecules and hormones to come into balance and to heal. And so it can be tremendously healing. It brings about a balance, a realignment to God's intended person for our bodies. Now again, I wasn't really that much aware of my body, but this has really begun to help me to appreciate some things. And so fasting frees up stored energy in the form of none other of fatty tissues. Well, I got a stored energy bank. Now, it's not quite as much as it was because I've lost significant weight. I've lost at least a pound a day. And if I've done minimal exercise, like yesterday I did 40 push-ups, I lost 3 pounds. Just by doing a little bit of exercise. And I'm not suggesting that you do any strenuous exercise. I think that would be totally unhealthy. And again, make sure you're consulting your doctor. But you'll definitely begin to burn fatty tissue. And from my understanding and my research, I've discovered that the fatty tissue that you are burning during the fast is the healthiest energy source for your body. It's much healthier than the glucose, sugar, that all of us are digesting. In fact, the average consumption of sugar by an American citizen eating normal healthy foods, I'm not even talking about soda or ice cream or cake, I'm just talking about organic foods in the supermarket, good foods, is 80 teaspoons a day. It's killing us, folks. And you might want to do a little research of that on your own. That's what I did, and I found out that, boy, this has helped me to have my body cleansed of all those hidden sugars that I didn't even realize I was digesting. And fasting, as I said, not only frees up the stored energy, but during a fast, we allow our bodies to rest. I can't tell you how good it's felt to rest because I'm not just shoveling down an onslaught of steady meals. And we usually think of food as giving us energy. In fact, that's what I always thought. When I'd get a little tired or when I get a little fatigued, that I felt, okay, I probably need to eat something. So I got some energy. No. I was overloading my system. Oh, not only my digestive system, my heart, my liver, everything. I'm not a physician. I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just telling you what I've experienced. And so often we don't consider that food, that the food that we actually eat requires energy to digest. In fact, I did a little research. It's estimated that it takes 65% of the body's energy after a heavy meal to to digest the food. I've experienced it. We eat a big meal, and what do we feel like doing? Taking a nap. Well, that's a great idea. It's like, now all that stuff's going to go to fat. And so some of the additional health benefits that I've discovered during my fast is it helps fight decreased inflammation. Now, I've had a long time struggle with inflammation. I've had some heart issues with AFib. I've had a couple surgeries. I've been in the hospital, 7, 8 times. My legs have swollen. I've had blood clots. I can't tell you. It's so obvious that my body has shrunk. My legs, my lower legs, the heart's far from the feet and the lower legs. I've never seen the inflammation in my body just vanish. That's a huge benefit to long-term fasting. It enhances your heart health. I just went for my annual checkup to my medical doctor. A couple weeks before that, I went to my cardiologist, and he took me off all my meds. He said, "Don, you're doing phenomenal." So there's huge things. It helps blood pressure and cholesterol levels. It boosts brain function and prevents dementia. You start getting to my age. They do all these. I go to my annual physical, and they ask me all these questions, trying to determine if I've got the beginning stages of dementia. I said, no, I've been that way all my life. But I can definitely tell you that I have a greater focus and a keener awareness. In fact, it's really helped me in counseling to really be alert and focused and being able to be attentive to what's going on around me. It delays aging and it increases longevity, which I'm obviously interested in. So it also aids in cancer prevention. That's kind of more of a standard understanding these days. Do the research yourself. And everybody's favorite as far as the benefit of fasting, it helps you lose weight. And I can testify to that. In my first 28 days, now I'm far beyond that now. My first 28 days, I lost 31 pounds. I'm approaching losing, I'm heading towards losing 40 pounds. Of course, not headed to lose, so, not everybody's going to lose that kind of weight. But I haven't been this light in years. And what a good feeling. It's, I've had to get new clothes, and downsize. It's a good thing to downsize when it comes to weight loss. And weight loss during fasting is because our bodies are burning that body fat. Everybody says, the belly fat's the hardest fat to burn. Well, it is. And by the way, it's mainly glucose. And we can become what was called glucose intolerant. And I know for sure that I was glucose intolerant. In fact, even if you do, what's popular today, and again, I'm not endorsing this, but I did participate in it. I'm not against it. I'm just saying, don't take this as an endorsement. I was doing the intermittent fasting, 1 meal a day, before I started this absolute fast. And what I discovered is, if you're glucose intolerant, you don't really see the breakthroughs that you want. And sometimes people get frustrated and they go on diets, they're exercising, and they're not seeing any weight loss. And like a year ago, that was me. I was working myself to death, and I was doing push away from the dining room table, and I wasn't seeing the results. Now I know. I was glucose intolerant. That's because there was so much sugar in the foods that I was eating, and I was eating organic. I didn't know it. All these hidden sugars, all these different names for sugars, and that's what keeps your cells from burning that fat. Well, a absolute fat, once you break through like the 7th, 8th day, it breaks through that glucose intolerant. Now you begin to get in what's, I think, referred to, and again, I'm not a doctor, I think you get into what's called ketosis. And now you start burning that fat because your body still needs energy. So everybody's worried, well, how are you getting your energy? Oh, I've stored it up. I was like a bear in hibernation, so you don't have to worry about me. People have been fasting for years to lose weight. But what if I told you that the longer you fast, the longer you can live. Now again, that's my personal opinion. See, it's not just about weight loss. This is about rejuvenating your body, your health. So I personally believe, this is my testimony, that the longer you fast, the longer you will live. And that's why I'm going to begin to make this a part of my lifestyle. This isn't just an anomaly where I'm doing this and then I'm going to go back to eating 3 meals a day. No. When I do break the fast, I'll be very careful about it. I've researched how to do so, and I'm going to do 1 meal a day and probably one every other day, just because I found out I don't eat all that food. And so the idea may be hard for you to stomach or to believe, but a new study, and this is research that I found that's put out by the National Institute of Aging, the NIA, you can find it on their website, suggests that intermittent fasting can be the key to longevity. Wow. Now, they're the people that do research on aging, and they're suggesting fasting. That's not my recommendation. That's theirs. Now, I'll personally recommend it just because I've seen the benefit of it for myself. So as we can see, there are numerous positive effects to both the body, the soul, and you don't want to miss next week's presentation, because I'm going to talk about, are there any spiritual benefits to fast? You might be surprised, in my opinion. Till next time.
We hope you enjoyed today's video on Life as God Intended. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that button below so you get a notification every time we upload one of our weekly videos. Be sure to hop over to our blog where you can read articles and notes on today's message and sign up for our emails there. We'll see you back here in a few days, and until then, enjoy life as God intended.